Welcome along to Saturday Sport. It's that time of year when we reflect on sporting achievements throughout 2014, and the first of our reviews focuses on rugby. Stags coach Brad Moore, his first year in charge. We're going to get his reflections over the next two nights about how the team performed. Good evening, Brad. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks very much, Tom.
Well, give yourself a mark out of 10 as a team, as a performance over the course of the season.
Oh, out of 10. I'm more of a wordsmith than a numbers man. Look, I think we've had a good season. It's been an enjoyable time. We've played some good footy, scored a lot of good tries, and entertained, and introduced a lot of new players, management group, game plan, and managed to still make the semi-finals and lay a foundation to kick on from next year.
Listening to the public, I think, to be fair, the jury's out at this stage about the direction. They like the expansiveness of the game, but I suppose at the end of the day they look at the results and they're pretty much the same as the year before. So you can understand that. Oh,
look, everyone's got an opinion, and that's fine. So jury out, jury in. We come back on the 1st of December to get a group working again and to go forward to next year. So we've got total faith in the program that we're putting together, and we'll just carry on.
All right, let's just break it down now. What aspects of the team performance are the positives, the ones that you're very pleased with?
Oh, I think embracing a total new style of play. So there was a massive push from the beginning of the campaign, which we'd call the 1st of February, to really increase the skill level. So run, catch, pass of the group, and a wider group, not just the guys that are going to end up playing for the Stags in 2014, but guys who may play for the Stags in 2015, 2016. So we're trying to widen the base there, and work with fellows who end up representing Southland and other teams, so the metro side, the country side, the under-19s. So I think we saw some real benefit in that in the run, catch, pass. It's not where we want it to be ultimately, but it's a big improvement. So that allowed us to play, to put the building blocks together to play what everyone sees here as a more expensive game than has been done in the past. I think you still got to make sure that your set piece and your forward pack is dominating no matter what game you want to play. So if you're a really heavy kicking game side, well, you still need a really good platform to do that from. So there was some really good stuff that we saw in the pack. Some guys like Bill Fuka take his chance and play early on, particularly when John Hardy was still injured. And then you see guys like Tim Boyes had an outstanding season, made a lot of tackles, but also ranged wide. And I think his form was due to the work he put in, and also perhaps not having to do so much work in the middle of the field. So then on defence he could really hoe into it and make some good tackles. So I think the embracing of that and the increasing of the skill level would be the two major things. We tried to build some stuff around counter-attack and put some things in place, which I think you start to see more confidence. Junior Ngāruawhawhai's try against Hawke's Bay, magnificent, but there was also a very good counter-attack try against Northland that Keanu scored. Junior started with Lima.
That's the nature of the competition, the expensiveness though, isn't it? The successful teams mastered that. Manawatu, obviously, and Taranaki and Tasman further up the table, all were able to rack up bonus point type wins with expensive tries.
Yeah, I think Manawatu weren't too far ahead of us in tries scored. I think what they did really well is on the whole, they minimised errors, and that would be one area that we need to get right going forward. Is we just made too many errors in some games, little moments, which then add to the opposition scoring points, putting us under pressure, playing the game in the wrong areas of the field, and things like that. So some good game management lessons learnt, which we'll be able to use as education going forward, and hopefully they're lessons you learn once and that's enough.
Because we could talk about the bonus point situation, always need more of those, don't you?
Yeah.
I think because Manawatu, despite not scoring more tries, at sort of 35 flag points with 19 or 20. So it's actually, when you do lose, is staying close with the opposition, isn't it?
Well, Manawatu also won more games, and but certainly the bonus points, I think, important. It wouldn't have put us under so much pressure at the end of the season had we picked up the odd one. And I think there were 6 games where the game was still live, or a bonus point was still available with at the final whistle. Some of those we capitalised on, and some we didn't. And if you're in the game long enough, sometimes it's going to happen. You're not going to get them all. But that's bonus points for within 7 or for 4 tries. And some games we finished with 3 tries. 3 tries against Taranaki, 3 tries against Otago.
Just not quite enough.
Correct.
The set piece, you mentioned being critical. Perhaps if there's some criticism, the tight 5 perhaps not as effective as you would like, particularly in the scrum. We just suffered it at times, at crucial times.
Yeah, I think at times, there's areas that we want to improve on. I think that some of that comes back to experience in crucial positions. And as much as most of the type 5 there has been names known to people, so they've played for Southland before and whatnot, there isn't a hell of a lot of experience in say 3 of those positions overall. So one prop, the hooker, and one lock. So when you take Whopper and Lurch out, the experience there is not quite as where you'd like it to be. But obviously those guys have another year on them, and I think a lot of work went in, and that will continue to benefit us going forward.
Yes, because shopping around for props, for instance, it's a pretty thin market, isn't it? Everyone's looking for the great props, and there's not a lot of them around.
No, and we're not necessarily shopping around. I think the guys there will benefit from the experience that they've had, and I really look forward to seeing what JP and Morgie Mitchell will do next season. A guy like Dylan Halahola is going to really kick on. He's a young man. He's going to work on his core skills and get the throwing 100%, and that's the thing that comes with experience. You show me one 20-year-old who's nailing his throwing a level up from where he's been playing. I thought Tua Tuapati had a magnificent season, and he's really knuckled down and got things right for him on field, off field. Really good family support, and he's trained very well. He's very fit, and he's benefited through a very good season for us and playing now for Fiji in the Northern Hemisphere. So
I'd certainly, and tomorrow night we'll go through some of the players individually, but let's look. Go back to overall. What would be the highlight for you? What would be the performance that you're most proud of?
Look, I thought that the performance against Canterbury would probably be the most clinical that we were in terms of the entire week, and then the performance of the game. We hadn't played well at all the game immediately before it against Manawatu, and made far too many errors. So we just really had a very good week looking at what we had to have right to be able to perform against Canterbury. Then went up the road there and managed to put it all together and celebrate Tim Boyes' 100th game with a victory in Christchurch. So with all the high drama at the end of the game that there was. So that was a really good performance. From that, a great experience in Hawke's Bay, getting that close to winning the Shield, and as much as that hurts, and it still does, again, just another great experience to be part of that will stand all those people that were involved in that in good stead going forward. We had our chances, and there's no one else to blame. We had that game ready to rumble, but it's just not meant to be easy to win. And unfortunately, the draw means it stays with them. It
does indeed. And just finally and quickly, a game you'd like to play again? One that was the one that got away?
I'd love to play the Shield game again.
That's right. One and the same.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Brad. Stay with us. We'll join Brad again same time tomorrow night, where we'll look at the players and who's progressed to Super Rugby. That's on South Today tomorrow. Good night.